Right, let's try that again. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. I don't know, OBS just completely crapped out, showed the wrong desktop, would not let me do anything else. But, right, it is here. The Kortz Center Heist has landed, and Rockstar's dropped a full wave of new metal alongside it, so your bank balance can start bracing itself now. My name's Dan. I'm an old grumpy gamer. So, quick recap for anyone who's kind of just joining the stream. We spent the last few sessions banking hard toward the mansion and art studio entry cost. So tonight is about spending some of that, well, properly. So here's a plan. We are first going to purchase the studio itself. We'll just get through the cutscenes, have a quick look there. Won't do any emissions or the heist this evening. But we will be on to the new vehicles. I think we've got about half a dozen vehicles that have dropped. So that means we've got a few million to spend. So let me see. I think I've got a list up here somewhere. Here we go. So we have the new Vapid Cartuccia, the armored variant. We've got the Cartuccia, I reckon that is. That looks like a neat little GT sports car. Big long bonnet, front engine, so that'll be really neat. The Ocelot E-Stride, so a compact. Is that a 2-door or is that a 4-door? Let's have a look. Based on the I-Pace, which was a resounding flop, if I recall correctly, but that looks like a 4-door. Let's have a look. Yep, that's a 4-door, so that's good. We have the Benefactor Läufer. As a van guy, I am genuinely looking forward to seeing how this one kits out. It's super cheap as well in comparison to the other ones at 645 grand. We have the Benefactor LRC GT. So this is a smooth looking little beastie. Should be a bit of fun. The Albany Merula, maybe? I don't know. But that's all right. Kind of looks like a nice little Audi sports saloon, little family thing. And our first supercar, the Grotti Veleno GT, which I believe I can get as a GTA Plus member. GTA Plus is not something I endorse. I just do it because I'm on the YouTubes. But yeah. So, we've got a few vehicles to buy. We did find out the price of the art studio. It is a whopping $4.7 million straight out of the pocket, which is just, it's brutal. So the heist must pay really well when you look at the entry points for things like the Coyote heist at 2.2 mil. And that's on top of having to spend at least 11.5 mil on your first mansion, which is insane. So this now makes it at a minimum entry point of about 15.5, 16 mil, the most expensive entry point, the most expensive paywall ever for anything in GTA. And that includes the Los Santos Angels, the Mercenaries update, where you needed a hangar, an Avenger, and some add-ons before you actually could get in. I think that topped out at about 11.6 mil from the ground up. So, yeah, let's get into it. Let's start by purchasing some vehicles and the upgrade for the mansion. Right, so I guess where did the mansion come on? Can I do upgrades from here? Nope. Okay, so that means I need to go to pre-luxury. So there it is, front and center. You can purchase the additional art studio room for any mansion to gain access to the heist. So we already have the Richmond Villa. So let's renovate that one. I picked that one up, honestly, not because it was the most expensive, but because it was kind of in the nicest spot, which I guess is, you know, what we're making up for anyway. So let's renovate this one. We'll go to the additional rooms and the art studio. Okay, so original price is the original price, sorry, is 4.7 million on this one. Now, I'm on GTA Plus. Don't recommend it unless you really, really have to. But I'm on GTA Plus, so that gets me a milli discount. And then I also did a couple of Kaios, and doing a heist got you an additional million discount. So that's the 2.7 there. So let's add that now. And the studio the bank balance can take its first hit for the night. So we'll drop that in. And let's go and have a look. Let's see if there's a cutscene. Right, so Haviland just told us about the art studio. I can see that just over here. No. Is it up maybe? Right, getting nothing, nowhere here. Can we go up again? I don't think we can. This is the top floor, isn't it? Let's basement level 2 is the new one. There it is. Right, pay attention, Drongo. And let's have a look. I haven't even checked the bonuses this week. Let's go and have a look at those afterwards. But first things first, have we got any changes here? And, thank you very much, Incendiary. I really appreciate you saying so, mate. Genuinely. I do enjoy making these things. All right, so let's go have a look. Art Studio. So I'm going to shut up while the cutscenes are on. We'll see how we go.
Ah, how wonderful to see you again. We let ourselves in. I'm sure you don't mind. I wanted to see this new art studio of yours. I knew you had taste, but this is dedication. Oh, do forgive the formal where we were attending a soiree at the Kortz Center, an exhibition opening. The late Albert Crisp's collection. Priceless, apparently, but should someone acquire them, I'm sure a price could be conceived in. That is why I'm here. I have a proposition, you see. An organization I represent is interested in expanding their collection. They are in need of someone in procurement, someone hands-on, someone, I believe, with your particular qualities. Here I am, rambling on when I should be making a call. Mr. DeAngelis will fill you in and ensure that you have everything you need. He is at your disposal. You know I do not tolerate tardiness. If Los Santos is too distracting, I will send you elsewhere. Oh, and do be kind to young Nai. His parents are dear clients of mine, and I promise to find their son some reputable work. Ta-ta!
Hey, boss. We'll get to Ray in a sec. First business talk. The organization Faber represents, they want the Kortz Center collection, especially their newly acquired Bradier, La Denier de Boche. That's right. Art heist, baby. Let's go. You know, in this city, you can't turn a corner without running into some guys robbing a bank, a casino, a freaking biochemical weapons lab. But this is a classier kind of crime. The Kortz Center, never been hit before. State-of-the-art tech, secure storage, deadly lasers, your specialty, basically. And the painting's not on display yet, so we need to access the museum's vaults. And this isn't a smash and grab. If they know the painting's gone, you get global pull on the buyer's ass, and you get cents on the dollar. But you want the whole dollar, so I know what you're thinking. How do we steal a painting without them knowing that we stole it? Well, that, my friend, is why we need Ray.
Yo.
Okay, bad news is he is an art graduate, so he's really annoying. The good news is crazy talented. Mine like an I find image search. You know, I find from 10 years ago before it was just AI porn.
They told me what you do. Cool. I'm like low-key non-compliant too, like socially. Yeah, I feel like you're locked in too.
And we're shutting the fuck up now. Bro, come on. Your ULSA classmates are driving hot box deliveries and jerking off in their parents' pool house, and your new boss here is going to make you a millionaire if you do a good job and stop saying things.
But what about
what about nothing? Okay, make money, do coke, be normal. So yeah, bottom line, we break into the Kortz Center, swap the genuine art with Ray's forgery, wipe the CCTV, talk nicely to any witnesses, and nobody's any the wiser. Then I pass the real art to the guys in Europe, and they pass you a fat load of cash, and that's fat with a PH, baby. We are talking stacks with curves. Now listen, you're gonna want to head over there and scope the place out. I know you're used to some fancy prep equipment, so I got you this whiteboard, some fresh markers, and... it's Faber. I gotta go. I'll call you later, all right? Don't worry about Ray. Just throw a snack at him now and then and he'll be fine. Okay, bye. Love ya. You are gonna kill it!
Okay. That is a win. All right. I'm really happy with that one. Cool. Yeah. All right. So let's just scope this out real quick. We'll have a quick look around. Well, it looks like we've got a model for the Kortz Center. We have some blueprints and we can sit down. Let's have a look. Okay, yep. Well, then that is sitting. Just the standard setup by the look of it. So let's just hop out of there. We have the heist, which looks like it will flesh itself out on the board over here. And we have our artist space.
Everything okay?
With lots of supplies. He's just going to be putting away there. Some solid artwork too. I quite like it. Good to see sketches. I like the little touches they've been putting in with this. Looking at the contract, like with Amani and her hacker terminal. As a software engineer, honestly, I've got 5 screens sitting here, guys. It's ridiculous. But seeing Amani set up with the big screens and all that kind of gear and 3 different laptops all running different stuff is just neat. So I really like the care they're taking with this in the details, which I think is a good sign for GTA 6. Genuinely. Okay, so we can use the radio. Let's have a look. And then let's go back to the basement. So that's a different space entirely. Right, that's cool. I like it. I like it. We'll see how we go. Okay, so not doing the heist right now. What we're going to do instead is head to the agency, the auto shop. We're going to purchase us some cars. So we'll just swap lobbies because that's quicker, honestly. And so we'll buy some cars. We'll get them into the lobby. Well, that didn't do anything.
Up and at 'em, sir.
Okay, let's try that again. Preferences. LS car meet. Yeah, try putting it in that. No, don't do the LS car meet. That was ridiculous. Gotta put it in the right spot, Drongo. Cassette arcade auto shop. There we go. Right, let's try that again. it is quite late. I have put in a full shift at my day job. It is getting on 11 o'clock in the evening, and apparently I'm a little bit tired. So we'll see how we go. Right, here we are into the shop, and there's a couple of things we'll need to buy, and then we'll go from there. So let me just quickly reconfigure. Let's get rid of that window. We don't need that. I'm going to quickly reconfigure my desktop here super quickly. There we are. So that the machine runs a little bit better and we don't get quite as many little jitters. So that'll just take a second. There we go. Screen's still working. Right, happy days. And let's purchase us some vehicles. So, Kortz Center. So we've got the Benefactor Läufer. Let's grab that in the black and grey at 645,000. And that is going in the auto shop. Now, the reason we do the auto shop is because everything is unlocked in the auto shop. Now, I'm, well into the point where that's not a problem, but it is super handy. Okay, so back to... Next is the Merula at 1.394 million. Let's go with orange for that one, because why not? Okay, back out of that. And the next one then is the Ocelot E-Stride. So what we're going to do here is I'll purchase all of these. I'll go back down to the GTA Plus place where you can go and pick up your free car, because we get one a week early. Jeez, the old bank balance has taken a walloping. Go and collect that one, and then by that time, all of the cars will be back in the garage, and we'll be able to start customizing these out, and you can slowly watch me go broke. Okay, so that's the STX. That's everything we've got in Super Autos. So that was the Benefactor Läufer, the Albany Merula, and the Ocelot E-Stride. So let's head out and go to... I think there was nothing in Doc T's. It's got to be Legendary next. Oh, great. I can just pull this in. Okay, so this is the Grotti Veleno GT. That is going to be $3 million when that comes through. So we'll grab that one. Hot pink is a good look. Let's grab that. And down to the auto shop. Now, looking at these as well, they were all Armani Tech enabled, which is great to see. Some good looking machines, to be honest. Next is the Grotti Cartuccia GT, I want to say. You know what? Looking at this, I don't know if we have any Ford fans or anyone knows the Capri. The new Ford Capri came out, and it was, honestly, the most dog ugly, boring SUV ever made. But this is what the Capri should have looked like. A Ford Capri is meant to be front engine, rear wheel drive, big pointy bonnet, and a coupe back, just like this one. But instead they made it a four-wheel drive. An SUV looking thing, which is just silly. And you know what? Electric can still have the styling. Tesla has proved it. Rivian has proved it. Next up is the Benefactor LRC GT at $2,650,000. So we'll get that in the blue. I'm just going to get the stock colors. We'll order that one. These are brutally expensive. I'm not sure 20 mil is going to cover it by the time we get all of the customizations in. All right, so that was 6 we've done. I don't think we had any in Warstock, did we? No, that's all Safe House in the Hills, and that's all Money Front, so that's all good. And definitely nothing in Benny's. Let's go have a look at the show, the stock. No, nothing new in there. So yeah, just want to confirm. I think it was just the 6 cars, but let me grab Firefox up. We'll go back to GCA base. I might have closed that a little early and have a look. Oh, that's Thunderbird. Firefox. It's the only problem with Firefox Developers Edition. It is a pain in the backside. So, yeah, smashing through it, Mab. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you swinging by. Okay, where is Firefox? Did it end up coming up? Said I'm about 90% confident we've got it right. There it is. Come on. There's GTA base. So if you're not familiar with this, this is one of the tools we use, maintained by independent guys, but it's one of the tools we use as YouTubers to just kind of keep an eye on stuff. So that and Reddit, surprisingly enough, really good. Okay, so to confirm, we have grabbed, now where is it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, so the Caracara Armoured. Do we have that yet? Is it available? Career progress reward by completing tier 4. Okay, so we can't get that one. We're going to have to wait for the mods to come out once Alex Blade gets his gear sorted. And I'll do a review once that's available, because then I can just use a mod to pull it in offline. So in the meantime, we now have a bunch of cars to check out and customize. Okay, so into the auto shop. Don't worry about the shop truck. They are, honestly, some good-looking units. Some very good-looking units. All right, chat. I am thinking, let's start with the van. Oh, and we've got some more. Oh, yep. They've all arrived. Cartuccia. Is that it? 2, 4, 6. Yep. Okay. Let's start with the van. That looks kind of neat, and I am, and friends will attest to this, an absolute nut for a van. I just really like them. My first car was a 1974 Volkswagen Combi XPMG in Postmaster General Red, and it is fantastic. All right, let's have a look at the arch covers to start with. Okay. I mean, all pretty standard stuff. Painted wheel arch trim. Plastic. Standard. All right, let's go with the... Do we want to do the extended? Painted extended. Do we need them? Yeah, they look a little bit silly. Okay, yeah, actually the painted extended it is. Armour, we just do the standard upgrade on that one. Brakes, we'll do the standard upgrade on that one. Bumpers, front bumpers. Oh, we do have a few different options here. The poverty bumper, that is fantastic. So extended lip, poverty, the street looks quite nice, sport. So we're going to build this as a sports van, or we're going to be a bit silly with it? Oh, I like that. Okay, so that's the tuner bumper. Rear bumpers. So the POV spec looks like it's just cheap plastic. Street bumper, guard, that's quite nice. Actually, I do like that. There's a little bit of trim there. Sport bumper is quite neat. Tuner and the race. a diffuser on a van is a bit pointless. I am kind of liking the tuner bumper. It's a bit flatter. It looks... Actually, you know what? The sport bumper's looking pretty good. I like that. It looks a bit more utilitarian. So... Not seeing the screen. Oh, it's locked up again. My word. I am so sorry, Octavis. Thank you very much for letting me know. Hang on. Let's see if we can get this bumped. Bear with me for a second. There we go. All right, cooking. Absolutely cooking. Thank you very much for letting me know. Okay, so to recap, we've done the front bumper with all of the different options, and I've gone for the tuner bumper. Apart from that, there have been no... Oh, yep, sorry, and the arch covers. So there's a couple of different options there, and I've gone for the painted extended. Thank you very much for letting me know, mate. I really appreciate it. You can tell I don't do this too often. All right, so bumpers are done. Ended up with the rear bumper. Just, I quite like the sport one there. The taxi cab version. Oh, very nice. Okay, well now I have to go right down to the livery and have a look. So white stripes, offset stripes. Yeah, that's all neat. That's all pretty standard. Ah, there it is. You know what? I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Oop. I presume it's taxi enabled. That looks quite neat. Also looks quite neat. You know what? Let's make it a taxi. I do like that. That's great. Okay, so we'll play with that bottom half colour. Thank you for the pointer, mate. Really appreciate it. All right, so let's go back up to... Where were we? We've just done bumpers, so engine, we'll just do the full standard tune on that one. Exhaust, the old pea shooter. Doesn't really need to be a dumper. That's just getting ridiculous. I do like the detail under here. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the things changing out. Okay, so you know what? Chrome exhaust will do the job. And the grille. Oh, I quite like that. The alt grille it's going to be. Alright. Hood bra is just silly. So let's see what we can do about this. Is it going to be a silly build or is it going to be a bit sensible? Performance looks quite neat, but that center vent hood looks almost like... Yeah, you know what? I like that. That's what we're going with. Lights, we'll go the headlights, neon, xenon lights, and then I'm not going to worry too much about a neon kit for this one. So for the Brophy fans amongst you, neon kits actually add just a little bit of the center of weight. Lower the center weight of the cut. Center weight. The where the center of mass is for the car makes them handle slightly better. Alright, excuse me for just a second, guys. I am going to bark up a lung. I'll be back in half a second. Sorry about that. Appreciate your patience. All right. So where were we? That's right. So neon kits lower the center of gravity, which makes it handle better. All right. Livery's already done. Mirrors. The old stockies. Alts. And secondary. Let's go with primary stocks. Wait for the transaction to run. And then down to, let's do the roof first. Okay, so the chrome roof bars. Roof rack, utilitarian, but not real helpful. Ridiculous light bars. Surfboard, painted surfboard, and the roof box. You know what? I am thinking the chrome roof bars will be the trick on that one. Let's make it look like a proper utilitarian taxi. And for these steps, step is a reasonable one. Runner step's quite good. Trim's a neat touch. Skirts, sport skirts, and then the executives. Okay, so you know what? For this build, let's go with the execs. And spoiler, it's got to have a little lip spoiler at some point. It's really hard to get an angle on these though. Tudor spoiler is fantastic. Okay, you know what? I'm thinking the small lip spoiler might just be a nice little bit of detail on there. Suspension. Oh, we can dump it. That gets quite low. No camber though. Okay, so I'm thinking street suspension. Transmission will crank up. Geez, that does a bit for the acceleration. Turbo will crank up, and that does a bit for the acceleration. Right, let's get on that respray next. Oh, actually, yeah, no, let's get on that respray next. So we'll go with the metallic. So what are we thinking? We can go with like the blacks will look quite, you know, actually the metallic's not going to be real good on that. So we can go with that kind of classic two-tone cab look. Or we can go get a little bit creative. You know, standard orange with the yellow. So that's, you know, that kind of downtown cabco. Bright orange. Actually, I think that would probably be pretty close on actually the downtown cab company. That is straight up an Australian taxi and probably an American one too. Dew yellow, oh no, not a fan. Not a fan of the greens. Oh no. And that midnight blue is not real flash, if I'm honest. Okay, I don't think the blues are going to cut it, are they? They're just not gonna work at all. Brown's a big no. Ugh. We're going to end up being boring, chat. I think I'm going to have to go with like one of the oranges. There we go. What are we thinking? I'm thinking bright orange. The on sale is blue and yellow. Okay, all right, that's neat. Thank you. You know, I think let's stick with the. Do we go with the black? It's boring, but kind of premium, isn't it? All right, let's go with the black. All right, secondary color is going to have to be a chrome. Oh, no. No. Not doing that. Oh, I didn't realize that was a secondary. So, let's go with a... Classic. Where is it then? Chrome. Oh, is that an overlay? Oh, that's not ideal. Classic. Let's just go straight up yellow. Do we have a yellow? Yep. not going to worry about a crew emblem because we already have the downtown Cabco. Okay, windows are going to be a light smoke. Let's go and have a look at that plate. And we're going to go yellow on black. And then I think it's just... Oh, window panels. Okay, so you can black out the back end. No, let's stick with that. Okay, so the next up is the wheels. So, do we want to go boring or a little bit sporty? Ah, the Simeon's one. All right, awesome. Thank you. Okay, yeah, GT1s. They're going to look pretty neat. Okay, that is a customization setting. Okay, so what time is it actually? On game. It's too late to actually do a test drive and get anything meaningful from it. Okay, so let's try the next one. Okay, so this is the Audi looking caper. So let's see what we get with this one. So the Albany Merula. Ooh, I like the nose. I like the nose. We'll armour him up, just do all the standard mods. Jeez, I'm burning through some cash here, boys. Alright. Bumpers. At least they're honest about it being splitters and not the front end now. Got a few different splitters. But if I'm honest, none of them are really grabbing me. The aftermarket's quite neat. I guess are we going to turn this into a race breed or an executive saloon? I do have a few executive saloons. You know what? Let's do the livery first, so we can actually decide whether this is going to be a proper machine, a ricer, or yeah, just a standard saloon. We do have some neat little some neat little ones here. Sorry, I laughed at that because it's very similar to crash test dummy ones. Ooh, I am liking some of these. Oh, I am liking some of these. Oh, and they actually got the livery correct instead of putting it on backwards this time. That's really neat. Camo. Okay. Alright, I think I've decided this is going to be a ridiculous machine. Okay, so livery done. Awesome. So, Simeons have all of the new vehicles there. Thank you very much, Octavis. That's really appreciated. I hadn't actually checked, so thank you, genuinely. Alright, bumpers. Front bumpers. Ridiculous. So let's go with the GT wing splitter. We'll go with the trim splitter. Will we go with the trim? Let's go with the primary. I do like that you can match it with your trim though. So rear bumpers. Let's see what we can get out of this. Oh, I like the diffusers. A couple of different options here. It's, yeah, sorry guys, really hard to get a solid angle on these. There we go. GT was a little bit silly. Let's go with the performance diffuser. Oh, and I need to get the, oh, that was an expensive mistake. Engine, we'll just peek that out. Right. I do wish they'd turn the engine off when you can see this, so you can actually Oh, yep. Hexagon exhaust it is. Let's see what we can do with some of these. So scoop hoods, the vented and carbon vented. That looks kind of meaty. Oh, now we're talking. Like, that's objectively silly. But you know what? We're going for silly with this build. Alright, cool. On it. Neon lights will be... let's deal with them in a few moments. Mirrors. Kind of... do we want to... Yeah, there's not much different anyway with those because of the livery. So let's have a look at the roof next. Stock roof might be it. Okay, let's see what kind of silliness we can do with these skirts. There are a few different ones there. Okay, I think the GT skirts might be the go. And something a little bit silly without being outlandish. Yeah, the old GT wing's is taking it a bit far there. What I want, I think the performance spoiler is going to be the go. It looks silly enough without being insanely silly. Yeah, let's go with the yep, performance spoiler. Silly without being ridiculously outlandish. We'll see what happens. I think I'm going to dump this thing in a really, really bright colour that blends in well with the purple. Once this thing's purchase actually finishes. There it is. Sun strips. Yeah, we'll chuck a carbon in there. Suspension, let's see how far we can go. You know what? That is not as low as I was expecting. So we'll go one up. Get that transmission in there. Squeak that last little bit of acceleration out. Get that turbo on there. Ooh, nice. Okay, primary colour. Let's go something a little bit nuts. There's a purple here, I think. Yep, there we go. Got the purple green or the orange purple. I'm thinking the purple green. Like, it's an absolute purple monster. Yeah, done. We'll go back to the plates. What do we got? Secondary colour. Can we make it chrome? No, let's not make it chrome. Let's go with matte black. Trim colour is, you know, we got to go purple. She's down here somewhere. Bright purple. Yep. And no need for a crew emblem. Okay, I think we might be there on that one. Let's go and have a look at some wheels. And I'm thinking, let's go with the track wheels. Let's see if we've got some two-tone jobs there. Don't think we do. So I'm looking for something with bolts and a little bit of hexagonal action on it. The old turbo, super turbines are quite neat. I think that might be what I'm after. And then we can paint those bad boys. Nice heavy purple. Yeah, there's our guy. All right, I am really happy with how that one looks. That might be taking it a step too far. And of course, got to smoke it up. Right, that is silly, and I quite like it. That said, it does look an awful lot like the shop truck, but that's okay. You work with the liveries that you've got. On to the E-Stride next. Nice and quiet. These will be low down torque and speed, but will be quite slow as far as top speed is concerned. So just all the standard upgrades. All right, now this is an electric vehicle. So that means that the hoods have absolutely no bearing on anything. Like a vented hood on an electric vehicle seems a little pointless. I get the aero hood, but let's have a look at some of the less silly ones. You know what? I am going with that tuner hood on this one, I think. Just nice and clean. Let's see what kind of liveries we have on this one. Okay. That's not bad. That's interesting. Also quite interesting. They're getting a little more creative with the liveries, which I think is a wonderful thing. They did get a little bit lazy there for a bit. Oh, look at that on the top. That's really neat. That's really neat. I quite like that design. That is a little bit silly, but that's all right. Cyber graphics. Okay, yeah, cool. Oh. Oh, I am quite taken with that. The little hexagons there, that's really neat. Okay. Well, you know what? I am thinking that Sprunk one does look kind of neat. It does break things up a little bit. But I think Flint Racing might have it. Which means that we need to do another ridiculous build, chat. So let's have a look. Carbon mirrors, streets. Oh, I like the sports mirrors. Carbon sports, there we go. Plate is going to be yellow on black. Rear bumpers. Let's make him, so that's all right, but let's make him look as beefy as we can on the back end. Oh, that's neat. But I'm thinking that race bumper might be the go. A little bit chunkier without being too silly. Roof accessories. We've got the flush roof. Ooh, that's not helpful. So that's the stock. That's the flush. Raised. So these are the roof racks. None of them are grabbing me. Flush roof it is. We can extend the skirts out. Nothing really kind of grabbing me on this one. It's a bit boring, if I'm honest. They're not bad. Splitters are a bit silly. Comp splitter. You know what? The comp splitter's on brand. Right, let's have a look. The simple wing looks quite neat. Carbon sports wing's getting a bit silly. Okay, race wing. I reckon we might have a winner there. Do we need... None of them are grabbing me. All right, let's see how low we go. Comp suspension's not too bad. Light smoke. And that's it. All right, wheels are next. I'm not sure what we're thinking here. Let's go with... Do we want to make this an off-roader? Do we want to? It does look a little bit silly. It doesn't really suit, does it? Also doesn't suit. Tuner. No, they look a bit silly. No. It's going to have to be high-end. Stockies. That's okay. This is not going to be quite the ridiculous build I was hoping for. But okay, they look neat. So that's the GT Chromes. And now if we go back to the respray, primary is going to have to be, again, let's go with one of these chameleons. Actually, you know what? There's nothing really grabbing me. In the chameleons, I thought there would have been some really nice, neat stuff in that, but that's not going to work at all. I'm liking the greens. I am liking the white. Let's go and have a look at white first. So that's the frost white. So we get the trim out of it. That's not bad. Ice white, that's too much. Oh, or is it though? You know what? The cream might do it. I think. Yeah. All right, cream it is. Nice and simple. Secondary color. Let's have a look. Have we got any chameleon stuff that we can chuck in? Is it worth it? No. So we'll go with the classic black. Trim color is going to be, I think, yeah, just a nice light black there. We'll make it practical. It's a practical silly car. All right, and we're not going to worry about a crew thing because it's right there. So that's all good. Okay. I think that is about as customizey as we can do on that one. Right. Well, hydrate first. Sorry, guys. Okay, so let's try that again. On to our first... That was on me. That was on me. Right, on to our first hypercar. So this is the Grotti Veleno GT, our first supercar. And I think before anything, let's go have a look at these liveries and see what we've got. Okay, that's got potential. Oh my, that's interesting. Standard redwood. Okay, so that's kind of a race breed. Nice and slice, so that's a sponsorship one. weird camo. Right. I am quite liking the branded one. All right, let's go with that. Okay, let's go do our standard stuff and then see what we come up with. All right, canards. Oh, this kind of feels like a race breed, so let's do him as a race breed machine. So got the single channeled. Let's go with the dual channeled. Looks a little sillier, but that's okay. Okay, so exhausts are up the top here. I am liking it. Dual titaniums. Oh, sorry, the quad titaniums I think are going to be the go. So that looks quite neat. Front mudguards. That's better. Let's go with the street style so we can see the Grotti emblem. Arrow on the hood. Okay, well that's interesting. I'm thinking the hood pin mark too. Transactions might take an extra few seconds because of the absolute slamming the GTA servers will be getting right now. All right. Oh, and I didn't notice before, but thanks for the follow, Matt. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Right, there we are. Let's go with the rear diffuser next. So I want to be punchy, but not too silly, even though I want this to look like a race machine. You know what? I'm thinking that GT diffuser looks pretty mean. Grab the skirts. Okay, I am liking the claymores. Yeah, definitely the claymores. Just that little bit of trim there. Looks really neat. Oh, now we're talking. Okay, definitely the Claymore Mark II, I think, is going to be the go. That looks quite neat. I'm liking these little touches, like with the little globe oil down the front there. And we have some silliness available. I love it. Yep. Okay. Definitely going with the Improvo. And let's not dump it all the way down. I want some handling. Okay, the full thing. That acceleration is brutal. Come on. And the turbo. Oh, this is going to be a fun car to drive. Okay, we'll get to those in a few moments. Let's go and have a look at the respray. So, will any of the chameleon colours look good on this? Purple looks good on everything, but I don't want to overuse it. Doable. But no, that might be a bit much. I think it might be a bit much. Oh, and okay. Black Prismic. You know what? Actually, I'm thinking the metallic. Carbon black. And that'll really make this... Yeah, graphite will make it all pop really well. And let's go with a pink overlay. Hot pink. That'll make it work. Ooh, do we want to go with the Fist of Pink? Yeah, let's go with the Fist of Pink. Again, expensive mistakes. Come on. Transaction's taking its time, but we are getting there. There we go. All right, secondary is going to have to be metallic black as well. So we'll go with the graphite there. And that, I think, is a really neat little combo. All right, let's get these wheels done. And I think we're going to want sport wheels with this one. Stock rims. Do you like the ones with the bolts around there? It's just it's personal taste. I quite like them. But let's go with something a little less, a little hairier. Split 6 is kind of nice. I'm liking that. Go with the black. Carbon black. Okay. I think we might have a winner there, chat. I am very, very happy with how that's turned out. This is going to be an insane machine. Right, on to our lucky... Oh no, we've got 2 more to go. Wow. Geez, there's a few here. Okay, so let's crank up the normal stuff. Actually, you know what? Let's skip straight down to the livery again and let's see what we've got. So all the standard boring gear. Okay, now we're talking. I'm glad they learnt some lessons from the last round of liveries. I'm not sure if you remember, but in the last one they got a bit lazy and they'd have the livery correct on this side, but on the other side it would be literally mirrored, so it wouldn't have the G over here, it would have had the Y, but backwards. Okay, interesting. Okay, goofy fade. You know what? I am liking it. I'm liking it. Now, the reason I'm going for these sort of louder liveries is because I have about 100 cars. And it is very, very easy. And I noticed this quite by accident. I kind of had a very particular... oh, come on. Buy, you prick. There we go. Have a very particular style I ended up settling into. And every car was like one of 3 colours and without liveries. And it looked just silly. Oh no. Oh, thanks JSK, by the way. Welcome. Kaio's been nerfed AF. Okay. I will investigate that at some point. Probably not on this stream, but if you can point me to an article or some info on that one, that'd be amazing, mate. Really appreciate it. Okay. So with this, I'm thinking... Let's have a look at the spoiler options in a few minutes, but let's not go too outlandish. I'm thinking weekend track car with this one. So let's see what kind of silliness we've got going on here. Oh, I do like that. Secondary flared. Secondary wing lip. Okay, yep, secondary winged trim we're going for. What? Tequila for 400. Oh, no, that is so much work. That is ridiculous. I've drawn tequila 3 times in a row, and I was pretty grumpy about it, but to make it even that, like, that's bad. That's rough. Oh, no. Geez, that tells me that this heist payout's not going to be nearly as good as we think it was. if they're bringing that down. So street bumper. Let's have a look at these. There's not a lot of difference in these bumpers, to be honest. Do I want the chunk? It is a little bit... it's a bit silly, isn't it? Sport bumper might be the go. 400. Oh, that is so bad. That is so bad. All right, we'll test that. See how we go. It won't be on this stream, but we'll get there. Okay, canards. Yeah, not a fan. Let's just crank that engine up. Stockies. Titaniums. Ooh, I am liking the titaniums with the chrome. Okay, yeah, definitely just a chrome touch on the back there. I think will look really neat. Front fenders. What do we got here? Okay, liking the vented. Not bad. Plastic pockets are rubbish. Okay, so that's vented. That looks quite neat. How does that look neat on the other side? Yeah, it's a bit intrudy, isn't it? Okay, so I'm thinking the twin vented. Like it's neat without being too outlandish. Do I like that better than the stocky? You know what? I think I do. I think I do. Alright, let's see what we got. So we don't want to go too nuts. Oh, I am liking the center bridge. Oh, now that's genuinely different. Not many of that floating around. Not liking the vanity. I'm liking the airflow. Let's go with that one. Okay, well, I don't hold high hopes for the payouts on the heist then. Has anyone completed it yet? TGG was on that a little while ago. I didn't quite catch his stream. Okay, mirrors next. Let's see what we got. The alts. Yeah, they're kind of pointy. I like those. Yep. Plate is going to be yellow on black. Get to the roof in a few moments. Okay. So, stock roof is black. Primary. Yeah, alright, cool. The ridged. Not a lot to it. Geez, there's subtle changes. Okay, roof scoop's kind of looking neat. You know what? Let's go with the roof scoop. Do we need much in the way of... You know what? I think just the primary ones will look neat. Ooh, I'm liking the badged. Oh, that's silly. There we go. Badged wing skirts, just a little bit of subtlety there, so that's look quite neat. Right. Not bad. See, some of these are a little bit silly. That's quite neat. Doesn't really fit though, does it? Yeah, I think the touring wing might be the go. Don't like it with that livery though. Race wing Mark II. Alright, let's see how far we can go. Alright. Yeah, not bad. Probably won't do much, but that will look quite neat. Alright, we'll go with the wheels in a few moments. Go with a light smoke on the thingo. Alright, and let's go and have a look at that respray option. Okay, so we get trim color too. Right. Okay, so this livery is all-encompassing. I thought the livery was going to be like just the back bit here, but it's actually yellow. There's nothing we could do about that, right? Well, in that case, not a lot of point repainting it with anything other than yellow. That'll give me the pearl overlay at least, so that'll look neat. Secondary colour, do we actually get? We do, yep, alright, cool. So let's go with the metallic yellow as well. No change there. Trim colour. Yeah, it might be a bit too yellow otherwise, so we'll stick with the graphite. Let's go with the anthracite. No need for a crew emblem there, I think. Where are we? Wheels. Alright, so we've got a little bit of chrome tip in here, but I'm not sure about the rest of it. Do we want to go with something chunky? They're not bad. I'll take that. And what can we do with a black? Yes, we can do a black wheel colour. Okay, yep, I like it. That'll do. Done. That's a little bit more pokey. Right, and on to the last one. Right, so standard armour. Actually, again, let's go down to the liveries and see what we've got. Whoop. Yeah, so again, the reason I'm going for the liveries first is because it helps me to find the rest of the car. But yeah, if you have a look, otherwise it just ends up looking exactly the same, like every car. That's interesting. Oh, that is entirely too much. Okay, silly, but that is definitely a livery. And the black. You know what? Cluck and bell it is. This is going to make painting it easy at least. So now if we go down and have a look at the respray, if I'm honest, we can just go with the blue. So I'm thinking the dark blue with this one so that it stands out a little bit, because Saxon blue's a bit much. Mariner blue's no good. Racing blue just blends in. Ooh, ultra blue. Oh, yep, ultra blue it is. Oh, there's a secondary colour too, I think. Let's go with the classic again. And we'll go with that. Do we want to... You know what, I'm thinking if it's just kind of that, let's go with the yellow. Oh, it's the wrong kind of yellow. Jeez, it's mighty close. Yeah, race yellow's closer. Okay, and straight up, because this is a track car, I'll do this about the arse about. Wheel type, well, we'll go with a track, and I'm thinking like one of the fan ones. Retro turbo fan, canonical turbo fan. Yep, it's going to be the retro. And we'll make that straight up black, I reckon. Oh, no. No, that doesn't work at all. Let's Stone silver it is. Right, let's get on with the rest of the car then. Armour done, brakes at full. Chassis. Okay. So this is full Le Mans type caper. Okay, so double Cunards with antenna. Can remove the scoop. I like the scoop. Okay. Let's go with a bit of a silly Le Mans build. Full aero. Do we need a shield? Not liking that. But it will make us bulletproof from behind. That would not surprise me at all, Rob. It means, well, it means, we know what it means, don't we? It means that they've nerfed a bunch of stuff to tank the economy a bit, or adjust the economy a bit. But that means the payout for this heist won't be super flash. Alright, twin rack. Okay, so I'm thinking the titaniums. So we're going with a full sponsored Le Mans build on this one. Aero no grill. I am liking the grill on there. Yep, alright, let's go with that one. So we've got aero everywhere. I've already got the livery. Plate is going to have to be like E-Cola, I think. Yeah. Oop, don't want to do that. Rear diffuser next. Oh no, that's a bit silly. Okay, split CF it is. Oh, and the casino heist. You know what? YouTube is going to go nuts over this. I'll be really interested to see what Reddit's got to say tomorrow. Alright, let's have a look at the skirts. So that's the stock. Siphon. Yeah, mono's a bit chunkier. Yeah. Agile, I reckon. That's just a little bit more silly. Ooh, okay, new gen it is. I like that. It's beefy. All right, spoilers. Okay, so the spoiler goes behind that doodad. So we've got none there. That's a bit flat. Track wing's a bit silly. Double stack's even sillier. You know what? No wing. Gold. No, no sun strips that really grabbed me there. And we'll get the turbo tuning, even though we really don't need it. Wheels are already done. Windows will be a light smoke. Right, that will be a nice addition to my track sports. Okay, so Rob is saying, and I have pink diamond on hard difficulty with 5 bundles of gold that I was saving to run parallel with the new heist. You know what? The good thing is with all of these payouts, if you started the heist before it gets nerfed, that's all locked in. So you still get to run that one. If you can glitch it, not that I recommend glitching, but if you can glitch it, that's even better. Alright, so what time is it? It is 7:45 in the evening, so that means it's going to be kind of too dark to really get much of a say on what's going on here. But Let's give this one a go. At least take it out for a spin and see what we've got. Oh wow, viewing angle on this is wild. It is so low. Ooh, she's got a nice note. Whoop, lively. Handles well. Handles really well, actually. It's much better over the bumps than I thought it would be. Nice bark. Good brakes. Go away, Martin. Oh, the noise in the tunnel is lovely. Oh, that is very nice, chat. It is very nice. Handles well. I think this will be a really, really good track car. How's it look in profile? Whoop. Still can't drive. Look, the cinematic view, it is a good looking vehicle, if I'm honest. It is a good looking vehicle. Got quite a note on it. Suspension's relatively clean. It just, like, it handles way better than I was expecting for what it is. I was expecting this to be bouncing all over the place, if I'm honest. I would have expected it to be, like, I mean, it's going to stick to the road, but on the standard streets, something like this, you don't get much travel in the suspension. So the fact that it's handling so nicely is a genuine... Hey, Rob. Thank you very much for the sub, mate. I really appreciate it. So the handling's like way better than I was expecting. Stops on an absolute dime when you're not under a post. But, yeah. She's a solid looking machine. I like it. I like it. Okay, so I just changed lobbies to switch back because that's quicker and easier. Over to invite only. Let's go grab the next car and have a quick look before it gets too dark. Oh, she might be a bit too dark. Okay, so that is a win. I was really surprised at how well that went.
Hey. See ya.
Okay, so the next one, what do we got here? This is the Cartuccia GT. So let's have a look at the race note for this one, hey? It's a pretty looking car. Bit disappointed about that livery though. Like, I would have thought it was only the back half that did the livery thing, rather than being the whole thing, like forcing it yellow. It seems like Rockstar didn't actually learn after the whole Supra debacle. But yep, good looking car. I'm liking the lights. Oh, like, it's got a reasonable note. It's got a lovely bark. But that engine is not the note I would expect out of this. I was expecting like a lot more throat. Instead it sounds... Oh, geez, it's not real flash on the brakes. I was expecting something like a heavier V8, like one of the Ferraris or something like that, rather than being more like a Sort of a buzzy 6. Very floaty. So I do have the sport suspension on this one, not the comp. But really they're really floaty. You know what, it does not handle as well as I was expecting this thing to handle. That said, I did just get out of a Le Mans car, so, you know, maybe my perspective is a little bit warped on this one. That was on me, chat, not paying attention. It's okay, I don't mind it. Like, I'm not sure it's worth the money, but I don't hate it. Okay, in cinematic, let's see what it does. It does look good with those rims, I like them. Like, it is a pretty decent looking car, if I'm honest. Like, quite a decent looking car. But does not handle quite as well as I was expecting it to for this, and I'm really disappointed in the note. Also in my driving. Look, it's okay. I don't hate it, but I'm also not in love with it yet. I'm sure after a bit of driving around, once I sort of get used to it, it'll be okay. Get out of the way. Suspension travel's not too bad, all things considered. I'm sure it'll go well on a track. But I would have thought it'd have been better on the road than that Le Mans car. Alright, let's give him a bit of a spin. You know what? It's okay. I don't hate it. But yeah, it's not my favourite purchase ever. Alright, let's try out the next one, eh? Do a quick lobby swap. All right, so I have a just a macro tied to my little stream deck here, which makes things a bit easier just to swap out. It's, yeah, just same as pressing buttons, but a little bit quicker. Don't have it tuned to weapons or anything like that. Okay, into the Grotti Veleno. So I've got high hopes for this one because she's a good-looking machine. Lights are a bit rubbish, though. Not too bad. Hard to see in this light, but it's okay. Actually, you know what? Let's sneak up next to the street light here and see if we can get a better angle. That's okay. Like, you can see the prismic paint coming through. She's either a very cold car or it's in desperate need of a new set of rings. But not a bad looking machine. That's okay. Don't hate it. I do, however, like the notes. It's not anything special, but it is a little bit heavier and a little bit sharper. It's not quite the Benefactor, but yep. Nice bark, nice backfire. That's me. I'm doing that on purpose to kind of get a bit of a sound out of it. Low down, angry, kind of brutal. Yeah, it's making a good noise. I like it. Sorry, Chad. I'm not talking because I kind of want to be able to let you guys listen to the note and get a feel for it. Let's have a look in cinematic. See how good a looking a vehicle it actually is. Oh, that's making a nice noise. That is making a real nice noise. It handles okay. It's quite sharp on the steering as well, which, you know, in a good way. You get a lot of, like the last one was super sort of sluggish to turn, but the turning on this is just lovely. And you can hear that spool up as well. It's sticking to the ground quite well without being a bouncy, again, especially considering I'm on the sports suspension. It's not the comp, but it is pretty good. Like, going over the bounces, the bumps is, you know, it's not the same as being in a dragger. But as far as it goes, quite like this one. This is a good piece of kit. They tuned this really nicely. Stops on a dime. J-turns nice and easy. Yep, and you know, it recovers from that burnout and the tail whip really well. Of course, it won't recover from me not being able to drive, but as far as that goes, I quite like this machine. I think it's not my new favourite, but I tell you what, I will be putting around with this in free mode a fair bit. Will it replace my Calico though? No, absolutely not. You know what? I like it. I am happy with that purchase. That is a good looking machine. Okay, let's swap it out. Go have a look at the next one. So I reckon what we'll do this evening, chat, is I'm just going to finish off testing these cars, and then I'll probably call it after that. So we will do some heist guides, but what I tend to do is wait an extra day or two just to get those out so that we have a really solid plan on how to do them. And I can give the best advice, not the first advice. I will at some point, probably on Thursday, stream trying out the heist at some point. We'll see if Wallaby's available for a quick look there. Okay, so next on to this Audi looking caper. So this is an electric supercar. So we'll bring him into the light. And you know what? It's not a bad looking car. I mean, it's kind of stock. Nothing special. Standard Jaguar electric vehicle. Jaguar, of course, instead of doing what every other company did, and oh my word, this is slow. No, it picks up eventually, but the acceleration, like I'm used to brutal acceleration on the electrics, and this has not got that. So yeah, Jaguar, don't know if you know the design stuff that they've done recently, but what they did is where every other vehicle company who wanted to get into electric retasked one of their lines and started producing both electric, hybrid, and their standard petrol range or diesel range. Jaguar did something different, like really different. What they did is they shut down all of their production. All of it. The whole lot. Retooled their entire factory over the course of 12 months. So not one single car produced for 12 months. Then recalled all of their petrol cars and started pushing out electrics. They did 1 or 2 concept cars which looked great, but then they did that horrible rebrand where they went from being a beautiful classic British heritage motor vehicle company, because they are owned by the same guys that own Land Rover, to trying to be an iPod seller. And I don't mean iPhone, I don't mean Apple, I mean an iPod. Their car came out and the concepts were ridiculous, but the new vehicles themselves were shoddily made and allegedly shoddily made, and the branding was such a disaster that when you saw the adverts for it, you had no idea that it was a car company you were looking at. But we're talking perfume brand levels of abstraction. It did not go well for them. I understand the PR company got fired. I'm not 100% sure about that. But yeah, and then the products, from what I understand from articles I've read, was allegedly, and I'm not a Jaguar owner, absolute rubbish, which is tragic because I really do like the Jags. They are a beautiful car, the older ones. My younger brother, I think he's got an XJ, which are a great little machine. There was an Australian movie made about them as well called The Big Steal, which was great in the 90s. But yeah, the old Jags have not covered themselves in glory recently. But anyway, sorry, the Ocelot. So this is kind of slow as a wet week. It's floaty. It accelerates really poorly. And is somehow twitchy, yet unresponsive, which is a masterstroke by Rockstar. Genuinely, I have no idea how they managed to do that, but here we are. Look, as far as four-door electrics go, it's okay. But was I not doing this for this stream, I absolutely would not have bought this car. Yeah, twitchy and soft and spongy and unresponsive all in one. So that is, yet again, a marvel of engineering. Let's see, can we do a burnout? No. Oh, yeah, sort of. Nah. It's like your mum, you're trying to do a burnout in your mum's Corolla. Look, it's okay. It looks okay. Honestly, that's a no from me, dog. All right, let's go have a look at the other one. Off we go. And, yeah, a couple more cars to go. We'll see how it goes from there. Rightio, let's back downstairs. And then into the purple people eater. Right, so the Albany... what is it? The Albany Merula. I'm really interested to see hear the note on this one. Oh, beefy boy. Let's see what this is like. So I've got the Prismic on this one. I chose the right rims, that's for sure. Okay, so the purple Prismic with this livery looks great. Got the right rims on there. Purple trim in it. Should probably update the plate, but that can happen again later. Ooh, that is a barky boy. Alright, so let's see how we get some bark on it. Alright, so this is, like, it's exactly how I expected it to sound. And kudos to Rockstar for setting that expectation and delivering. It is a bog standard V8 sound, but do not hate. It is, however, a big old heavy American style car. So I am finding it a little challenging to keep him rolling, and let's see what the stopping is like on this when I get on a straight. Not bad. Not super flash, but not bad. Alright, I like it, I like it, I like it. So I'm just trying to get some bark out of it to get a bit more of a note idea on the note there. Recovers pretty well from the jumps. Let's see how we go here. Whoop. Yeah, that was on me. Oh, this is a good looking car with the prismatic finish. Little bit slow to respond on the turn. Not bad. Certainly better than the one I was just in. Seems to be fairly planted. Quite a nice bit of handling. I'm moving at a pretty cracking pace and it's still, you know, just nice and settled. So, yep, okay. I like where this is going. Let's see what we're like in cinematic to try and get an idea of how good a looking vehicle it is from a distance. You know what? I don't mind it. Oh, let's get off and stay on the highway. It's got some, yeah, she's kind of pretty. Nice bit of bark. Alright, let's see how we go. Oh, can I squeak it through here without doing too much damage? Yep. Look, as a highway car or a race car, I really, really like this. It's not a supercar, like, don't get me wrong, it's not handling like a supercar, but it is a nice little sort of heavy-duty racer. I'd really like to put slick tyres on this one. It kind of feels like it needs them. But she's a good-looking car. Sounds just like I'd expect, handles just like I'd expect. And there is something to be said for just like setting those expectations visually and just hitting them. Alright. I am kind of liking that. That one's a bit of a win. Again, it's not going to replace a Calico as a daily driver, but I'm pretty comfortable with that purchase. Alright, let's switch out, and I think we've got one more left after this one. The van. Now, I think I mentioned at the top of the stream, I am a massive fan of the van. My first car was a 1976 twin-port 1600 Combi, which was purchased very second-hand and reconditioned. Our Australia Post, the equivalent of USPS in the US, or Royal Mail in the UK, used to run Combis back in the day. So I got one of those in Postman Red, basically. And it is a good-looking car. Okay, so we have the Benefactor Läufer. I expect this to handle like a van. So let's take a bit of a look. Change the view so we can actually get a bit of a look at it. Oh, the viewing angle on this one's pretty high. There we go. Thank you, sir. You know what? I don't mind it. It's, you know, I mean, I wouldn't go that far. But look, as far as a Mercedes people carrier Sprinter goes, that's all right. It's pretty decent. What's it sound like? Yep. Sounds like a standard 4. You bring its neck. That is, in fact, a standard 4 if you ring its neck. Oh, she's a wide one, though. Would you believe this accelerates it slightly better than that ridiculous Jaguar, that ridiculous Ocelot from before? That pole does not give. Like, it brake traction okay. It is a taxi. Center of gravity is quite high, like she's quite wobbly. But I am getting backfires out of it. Not that you can hear them. Drive into the car again, Drongo. Yeah, let's keep the advertising out of it. Thanks, Package Vault. Not a fan of that, thanks, mate. Like, I appreciate you swinging by, but we're not advertising here, sunshine. So I can hear it popping, but there is absolutely no actual, like, meaningful backfire noise out of this thing. It is a van. It's slow. It has a very high center of gravity. It's rocky. But it is handling as well as I would expect, with an engine noise that I would expect and backfires that I would expect. Again, setting those expectations early with the visuals and maintaining them. And then driving like a white van man, not a taxi driver. Yeah, it's okay. I don't hate it. Is it worth 690 grand? No. Certainly not worth the million once you've done everything up. But, like, it's not bad. I think with the chrome rims, it's quite neat. We do get... Do we have... You know what I've not heard? I've not heard a taxi dispatch thing yet. That said, I might not have been paying attention. Alright, if we go, let's pull in there. Ooh, that was a bit silly. Again, driving like a white van man, not a taxi driver. So, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I would be very happy putting around in this with a couple of mates. I'll have to go back and check how many seats it's got. Rightio. I think that will just about be me for that one. So that's pretty neat. I don't hate it. But that's the best you're getting out of me. Okay, so what I might do next is just go back and... Actually, you know what? I think it's pretty much just time to call it now. So, to recap, we quickly went up to the pre-luxury estate, went to the Richmond Villa, renovated, and then added the art studio, which was $4.7 million. Now, I have GTA Plus, and I also have the $1 million discount, so that brought it down to 2.7 mil. But that also still means that what's your entry point? I think the earliest point you've got there is Tongva Estate at 11.5 mil. It's on special at the moment. So 11.5 mil plus your 4.7. What's that? What was that? I thought I heard a Jaguar for a moment there. So anyway, sorry, pre-luxury. So the Tongva Estate's on special this week, but normally 11.5 plus your 4.7 entry point. So that's what, 15.5, 16.7 mil. 16.7 mil to unlock this heist series. That is the most egregious, thanks buddy, that is the most egregious paywall we have ever seen in this game. This one absolutely stands miles above the previous record, which was about 11.7. If you wanted to access the Los Santos Angels or the Mercenaries DLC, where you needed a hangar, an Avenger, and like a $1.6 million workstation in your Avenger. We've also heard over chat that the Kaio, Cluckenbell, and the casino heists have been nerfed. So that kind of tells me that like those payouts coming down, we had, who was it? JSK mentioned that Tequila is now only 400, where it was around about 600, I think I did, or 700, 600, I think I did yesterday. So that's pretty wild. So we've had massive nerfs on payouts of existing heists. A huge, huge paywall to get into this one. I suspect quite strongly the payout for this heist is not going to be super flash, but I will check and then come back to you once we've had a bit more of a go. But anyway, here we are. So if we were to have a look at, say, the Vinewood, and then have a look at the additional rooms. Oh, we've already got the art studio. Right. But yep, so art studio is going to be that 4.7 mil, 2.7 this week if you have the discounts, and you're, oh sorry, this month if you've got the discounts and you're on GTA Plus. But still, that is insane. So 12.2 mil for this one. So that's 12.9, 16.9 mil at the top end. That is a lot of money to make back. But we'll see how we go. They, the people that are on this are late game. They already have 50, 100, 150, you know, even $1 billion. It's 100 to 150 mil or upwards of $500 million. So newbies aren't really the target for this one. But that's okay. I don't mind. All right, and then over to the cars, we ended up grabbing the Benefactor Läufer, the Albany Merula, the Ocelot E-Stride, and the other ones we have at the moment are the Grotti Veleno for GTA Plus members. That's available this week, and it's free. The Grotti Cartuccia GT and the Benefactor LRC GT. You know what? While we're here, before I disappear from the stream, let's just check this week's updates and discounts. So we want Firefox this time, not Thunderbird. Okay, and we want Reddit, GTA Online. Okay, have we updated yet? I don't think it has. 2nd of July to the 13th. No post discounts today. So it's all about the DLC. Okay, so the specials we've seen are the specials we've got. No new properties I can't see any discounts there apart from the mansions, which makes sense. Have a quick look and see if we've got any discounts around the casino. Does not look like it. Maze Banker's got any discounts? We'll see what we've got here. So, nope. Alright, what do we got? Nothing there. Nothing there. I'm not seeing any discounts at all. Which makes sense on DLC week. No, no discounts at all there. Let's have a quick look at the vehicles. So, it does annoy me that we can't just quickly see what's discounted. We have to go all the way through. Okay, any other? I'm not seeing any big red stripes. No, it's all about the new content this week, so no additional discounts at all by the look of it. And you know what, that's fair. They don't want to take the focus away. Okay, let's go back and travel and transport. Legendary. So that's on sale. I am glad they're starting to add all these back in, because it was a travesty. We had something like 220 cars come out, but they've added back at least 100. Okay, no, we do have some sales. We have the Vapid FMJ available, the Imponte Nightshade. So the Vapid FMJ is down to 1,225,000. The Imponte Nightshade is normally 585. That's down to 4095. The Coil Brawler, I have this thing. It is great. So that's normally 715 down to 500. So a few discounts. I do like the Brawler. It is a really interesting piece of kit to drive. Like, it's not quite the Draga, but geez, she goes quick and it does rock crawling really well, but it's still only a two-wheel drive, so, you know, a little bit fun. Okay, we have the Nagasaki Strider. So that one's normally 670 and that's down to 469. Nothing in the specials. Oh, we want public and transport. I don't think we've got anything in pedal and metal. Rarely have discounts there. There's not a lot, not a lot of discount to actually to get out of it. Nothing in the dock tees. Anything flying that's discounted? Nope. And then Warstock. Oh, here we go. We have the Taxi on sale, so that's normally 650 down to 455. Stealth Annihilator, that's free. You know what? I should claim that. Done. So Stealth Annihilator is free for, I believe, GTA Plus. No, free for people who own a mansion already. Just check to see if there's any other discounts. Yes, we have a discount on the Blazer Aqua, so that's 953 360 down to 667 352. And if I'm honest, a waste of money. Even at the trade price, that is a categorically bad purchase. Do not do it. It unlocks one mission, which you can earn 20 grand to throw on, and apart from that, it is the most useless POS in the game. It's slower than a Zaba. So don't do it. Okay, so that is all of those checked, and I think that is pretty much it for discounts. Right, guys, well, I might leave it there. I appreciate you swinging by. If you stopped by for a couple of minutes, that's amazing. If you were here for the whole time, that is even more amazing. We've got a couple of new subs, so thank you, Rob, and Marb, and oh, Cheeky Boy, also a little bit a while ago. But yeah, really appreciate your time. So that will be me. I'll be back probably in a couple of days with some guides. But in the meantime, stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you in the next video.